One. All right, guys. You can argue today that this week, probably in terms of Grove City High School, is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, of the entire year. Why is that so? We're playing Central Crossing this week. Central Crossing, Battle of 62. I'm here today. We got a loaded roster of interviews. Today I'm here with Coach Schoonie, Coach Howard, and with these two in mind, how are you guys doing today?
Doing good, ready to get to practice.
Yeah, feeling good. Middle of the week, had a couple good days of practice under our belts, so we got a couple more before Friday night, but been pretty pleased.
So we talked last week, and the first thing I want to bring up is Coach Waits' three-step process to a great week, which includes being great in the weight room, great in practice, and great on Friday nights. And this week, kind of take away, because it looked like everything seemed to be perfect on all three sides this week. Great in practice, great in the weight room, and we got the win on Friday night. So kind of describe how that week went.
Yeah, I think the previous week against Hilliard Davidson, we saw that our preparation wasn't great. You know, it was good. We were kind of going through the motions. We've been in this routine, and then we fell short, right? So then we came back next week, I think a little bit revengeful, and we wanted to get after it. And then in the weight room it started, right? That first lift, Saturday morning, right? And then it would just kind of carried on into that win week.
Coach Howard?
Yeah, I think we definitely took a lot of positive steps last week. And I mentioned it in last week's interview, you know, when we win games, the only difference is how the outside world looks at us. So we approached that Saturday morning following the win against Thomas Worthington just like any other week, right? We came in here, we put our kids through a pretty strong workout on Saturday mornings. I always joke with them, the best thing to do for your body after a hard workout like playing on a Friday night is another hard workout. So Saturday morning they came in here, got their bodies loose and ready to go for another week, and so far this week the same three-step process has held true. They've been really solid. Monday in the weight room, 2 good days of practice, Monday and Tuesday. They got a weight room session this afternoon starting at 3:30, so they got to come in here and bust their tail and practice well again.
When you look at Central Crossing's roster, they have some speed on the far end. Pickerington Central transfer Malik Kamara is their running back, and he had a pretty good game last week against Westland. How are you guys looking to deal with the speed of Central Crossing?
Yeah, I think Coach Farbizo says it the best. If we let him be good, he's going to be good, right? But if we come up and we do what we're supposed to, if we make the right reads, if we just kind of play our system, play our type of football that we want to, then we're going to stop him, right? Big hits kind of slow speed down, and that's what we're expecting.
Coach Howard?
Yeah, I'm obviously dealing with the offensive and defensive lines. I told the defensive line they've had 2 unbelievable weeks back to back, going back to Hilliard Davidson. Even though we lost that game, the defensive line as a position group really took a huge stride forward and did their job, and they really found out what it meant, like how a scheme can come together when you just worry about your specific role. And then they repeated that process again last Friday against Thomas Worthington and had an awesome game. I think one of our D linemen, Sean Island, had 3 sacks, right? A bunch of quarterback pressures. Max Qualls played well, doing his job. Maybe he didn't have the stats in the sack category or tackles for loss, but he put pressure on the quarterback. And that's their job again this week, right? Central Crossing's a little bit more run-oriented than last week's game, so it'll be the challenge for them is making sure that we stop the run, right, first, and try to send a message early that that's not going to work, right? You're going to have to find something else.
And the quarterback that beat us last year is now in college. So they're coming with a brand new system with a new guy. So kind of tell me, as a running backs coach and as a line coach, kind of tell me how are you guys preparing for their quarterback in both ways?
Yeah, so on the offensive side of the ball, it's how can we keep them off the field, right? How can we string along a drive, and how can we stay on the field without going three and out. I think early in last week's game, right, we kind of we hit the gas pedal, and then we started to hit the brakes a little bit, right? We had a couple 3-and-outs after the first quarter. It's like, how can we build off of those drives so we don't go 3-and-out? How can we find a way each time we have the ball to score? And that's the mentality kind of on the offensive side of the ball to defeat their offense.
Coach Howard?
Yeah, obviously offensive line, we're trying to press hard to run the ball, because that, like Coach Schoonie said, keeps their offense off the field. But it also, helps eat clock up, right? So as long as you're finishing drives with points, whether it be a field goal, because Caden's been kicking really well, or a score, right, a touchdown, right? If you can finish a drive with points and keep their offense off the field, that's how you do it on that side of the ball. Defensively, right, like I said a second ago, stop the run, right? Their quarterback's a talented athlete. He's a coach's son, so he knows the game of football pretty well. And he likes to run the ball a little bit, pull it, tuck it, and run, scramble around. And we got to make sure that we keep that under contained and see where the ball goes.
Now, as two coaches, what does this rivalry mean to you, and what does it mean to you?
So the Central Crossing Grove City game, that was my first year when it started in 2017. So this game means a lot to me because we did not win that game. So this game, it allows me to kind of get back and let's see if we can win it now.
Coach Howard?
Yeah, I've been coaching for as long as the rivalry's technically been played. I was coaching when Schoonie was coming through here, so I was a part of those first couple games, and they were rough. And I think the Grove City community kind of took that personally. And that's one of the things that I love about being here is they take football personally, right? And the last few years, right, it's been much more competitive. We've gotten a couple wins out of it. They've gotten a couple wins out of it. Last year was tough because we ran into some COVID issues, kids getting quarantined, not able to play. We were moving some guys around different positions just to try to make sure that we were competitive. And we fought to the very end. It just didn't go our way. They had a couple of guys make some really special plays for them. So we're looking obviously this week to get back in the win column for the rivalry's sake and work one more year at evening the rivalry up.
Yep.
Absolutely. So for you guys as coaches, kind of tell me throughout these practices, how's it been going throughout the week, and what do you look forward and seeing from your guys?
I think the mentality's been strong. I think everyone knows what this week is, right? People have come in the weight room. We've come to practice kind of a little bit more focused because I think this game means a lot to them, right? They take it to heart. The community feels it. And then it's a whole year of, who won last year type thing. And then they can say stuff on Twitter and say scoreboard, things like that. So I think this game means a lot to them. I think mentally we have to come out and we have to keep our poise. We have to keep our character. We can't have any negative plays of 15-yard penalties, personal fouls, things like that. We have to go in there with our strong character, go do what we have to do and play our game.
Coach Howard?
Yeah, I think this week the guys have really just had a continuation of the improvement from last week's practices, right? They're taking some nice steps forward. They're focusing on doing something to get better every single day, right? One skill to improve on every single day is something that I preach to our position. What are you focusing in on? And they've done that for sure. And obviously this rivalry, it's going to lead to heightened emotions on Friday. And Coach Schoonie used the right word. We got to play with poise. You can be emotional and you can enjoy the fact that you're playing this rivalry, but you still have to be poised out there, not play out of control, not cost your team in some way because you made an emotional mistake. And we've been doing a good job of that at practice, right? It hasn't been over the top, crazy, rah-rah necessarily. But these guys know, right? They want to be able to look back in their high school career and think fondly of the way that they played against their crosstown rivals. So our senior captains are doing a good job at making sure that we practice that way and maintaining that poise throughout the week.
Absolutely. Well, guys, as assistant coaches, Do you guys have any words to say about the rivalry or anything else from the interview?
No, I think we just go out, we play our game. I think if we play our system, we play our game, we're going to be good. We're expecting for Jason Threet to have a really good game. So he transferred from over there. We're hoping that we can put him in early, that he can kind of do his thing against his old school. We have actually named him the honorary captain for this week too. So this game means a lot to him. So we're hoping big things out of him.
And what about from you, Coach Howard?
Yeah, I just want our guys to know that Coach Waits preached this at the end of practice the other day, that this is a big game for the community and it's a big game for the program, but you have to approach the amount of work you put in just like any other week, right? You can't have an emotional high in the middle of the season and then come off that emotional high next week and get caught slipping up. So every single week needs to compound on the previous game. We've done a good job of that so far, and we'll see where that takes us on Friday. But really excited, right, for another opportunity to get out there.
Well, guys, it was another great interview with you too. Definitely the people love having our interviews, and definitely love to see them. So thank you guys once again for coming out and doing this with me. It's definitely going to be a great practice. Hopefully I can see you guys a little bit out there before I get some guys in the 6 o'clock, 6:30 hour. And I will see you guys then.
Thanks, man.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs!